Why entrepreneurship? In this video, we're going to talk about how I came across entrepreneurship, why I'm pursuing it, and why it's good to pursue and know about. So why entrepreneurship will be the topic of this video, will be the topic of this conversation, will be the topic of the day. The reason being is because when you start to understand why entrepreneurship, now you can start to really understand what you need to do in order for you to put yourself in a better position. So this video is going to dive deep on why I chose to go into entrepreneurship and why I'm going to entrepreneurship, and it's going to help you identify that you can do it as well. It's going to take a lot to learn. So get ready, get your notebook, get your pen, get your ears out, so that way we can start taking notes and really have an understanding of why I chose to go into entrepreneurship. So let me go ahead and hit live. Let me go ahead and get everything set up, because today we're talking deep, we're talking heavy, and bear with me. So recently, I just got a new camera. And this camera is great quality, like it's phenomenal. But I have no idea how to use it. I'm over here struggling, trying to figure out how to use this camera. And so I know every time you start something new and you get new equipment, you do something new, you have to learn what you're doing and how to use it and how to go about being productive. So what I've learned throughout my time in entrepreneurship and learning more about myself is that everything that you do is going to be new. Everything that you have an idea for is going to be challenging. Everything that you put yourself in a new environment or new situation is something that you have to discover and develop in. See, developing is the most challenging thing, because even though this camera is fancy, I have to learn how to use it so I can be more productive with it. Until I use it correctly, it's just a piece of camera. Until you use your knowledge that you have, it's just knowledge. Until you use the skills that you have, it's just skills. You see, the reason why it's just something is because it only becomes something when you start putting focus on it. I said, oh, okay. So this is deeper than I thought, and it's deeper than I could ever imagine. So when I started my journey a half a decade ago, I started my journey because I wanted to help others become the best version of themselves. Not knowing, when I start reading books, when I start reading and listening to, when I start reading books, listening to different podcasts, listening to different conversations, listening to different interviews, at the time I didn't understand it was called entrepreneurship. I just thought it was called bringing value or having a conversation. And it made me become more aware, like, wow, this is really good. Like, excuse me, these people are on here just talking and just bringing value and just showing like that they can do something possible. And as they're doing something possible, they're sharing a story. They're sharing a message. They're sharing a point. They're sharing a lesson. And so when I start to really pay attention to it, I'm like, what is this entrepreneurship thing? Why does this even matter? Like, what's the importance behind it? So since I got my new camera, I can't necessarily write on my board because I don't know if it's gonna show in the camera. As much as I would like to write on my board, I don't know if it's gonna show. I'm gonna try to put it in the camera. Let me know in the comments if y'all can see it. Let me know in the comments y'all can see this board. Can y'all see this board? I don't think y'all can see it. Can y'all see this board? What part can you see? I think you can see some of it, but I'm not sure if you can see any of it. Let me see. Let me see if I write something. I'm gonna put why entrepreneurship. Why? Can you see that? Yeah, you can see it a little bit. I don't know how to. God, dog. It might be a little blurry. I don't know how to fix that yet. ENTREPRENURIP. Why entrepreneurship? Can't see anything. Okay, yeah, I imagine. Yeah. Appreciate it, Joshua. Well, today we just gonna be talking. Until I figure out how to do that, we just gonna be talking. We just gonna be talking. So, Joshua, let me know if you can hear me in the comments. Because I want to write on the board, but you can't see it, so I have to figure out the next way to use it or whatever the case is. So with entrepreneurship, it's like you discovering a passion, you discovering a skill, and at the same time, it's like, what can this thing turn into? What can this goal turn into, and what can it become? I had to learn that entrepreneurship is always around us. Like everything that we do, someone started a gas station, someone started Taco Bell, someone started McDonald's, someone started Burger King. There was a thoughtful person that had an idea, and once they had an idea, they brought the idea to life. Many times in life, you have to bring your idea to life to know that you can help others. I start to really understand, like, wow, like these are a lot of businesses out here. Like everything that we do, there's a business. We went to Take 5 the other day to get an oil change, and I was talking to my wife, and she was like, you know that the brand Take 5 because it takes 5 minutes to change the oil. I'm like, what? I said, I didn't even catch that. Take 5, like Take 5 company, the organization, you can go there and it takes 5 minutes to change your oil. I said, that was crazy. The most simplest information was the most profound, because it speaks volume. It speaks a mission. It speaks a message. And so when I start to like really learn and really understand like what life was even, what life consisted of, I'm like, maybe I need to start learning more about entrepreneurship. Maybe I need to start learning more about the name, about the industry, about what it actually is. And so I started diving into it. I went to a veteran a veteran business course. And when I went there, I started paying attention to like, oh, this is a lot of stuff. This is a lot of information. And it's a lot of information because you're not going to figure everything out in one setting, in one class, in one webinar, one video, one nothing. Because you have to literally take the time to learn what it is that you would like to do. So when I started the program, the business program, not only was I starting, I was learning how to understand what I was doing or what I wanted to do. Entrepreneurship wasn't a thing that I was thinking about because it was something that I wasn't even aware of. I didn't even know it was called entrepreneurship. I just thought it was called bringing value to others or helping others. And I wanted to help others, and in order for me to help others, I had to understand how I can go about helping them. And so when I start to really pay attention, like this is a lot of information that you have to learn because you're not fully aware of the route that you're going unless you start asking questions and you get around people that can help you along the path. One thing that stops a lot of people is that they don't ask a lot of questions. If I was writing on the board, I would have said point number 1 is to learn to ask questions. So when entrepreneurship is a theme that's so confusing, because I read this book by Ray Kroc. I believe it was by Ray Kroc, and he proceeds to share in the book that he had an idea. And no, he didn't even have an idea. He was selling ice cream machines, not ice cream machines. Yeah, I think it was shake machines or ice cream machines or something like that. And so this was like back in the 1950s. So he's going around to different stores, different companies, and be like, hey, I have this machine. I have this particular thing that you can buy, that you can purchase. Would you be interested in purchasing? So he was going around different stores, different companies, different organizations, and he's going around different places. He's constantly getting told no. He's constantly saying that we don't want that. We don't need that. There's no point for us to even do business with you. And then one day he proceeds to go to McDonald's. At this time in the movie and the book, it was only one McDonald's. It was only a couple McDonald's. It wasn't the amount of McDonald's that it is now, but it was only a couple. And so he go there and he start to recognize that it's a smooth restaurant. It's a smooth, like you order your food, and once you get your food, once you order your food, they bring it to you within a certain amount of time, and then once they bring it to you with a certain amount of time, it's like, oh, this is really good. This is really good. So he got intrigued by it. To be intrigued is to be inspired and to look more into. And so he started really looking at what they was doing, at what McDonald's was doing, and he started to understand, like, they have something here. They have something great here. They have an idea. I don't even think at the time he knew it was called entrepreneurship. He just saw a good idea. And so he went to the owners and said, hey, I have this ice cream machine and I would like to sell this ice cream machine to you all. They said, yeah, we need about 5 of them. When can you get here? He said, you need how many? And they said, we need about 5 of them. And he said, how fast can you get here? He said, I'm on my way. Ray Kroc was in a different state in the movie, and I believe in the book, but Ray Kroc in the movie was in a whole different state. So he had to get in his car and drive to California to meet the owners of McDonald's. And so when he met the owners of McDonald's, not only did he meet the McDonald's owners, he met the idea. You see, as an entrepreneur, when you have an idea, you have to put the idea out to the world. You have to put it out to the world where it's going to show you that this idea is a good idea, and though it's a bad idea, and though it's an idea that you can fully understand. And so when he went to this establishment, the establishment was so simple and easy because everything was just smooth and selling. When he spoke with the owners, his life changed forever because he understood the idea. When others understand your idea, you have a winning formula. I'm gonna read the comments right quick, then I'm gonna get back to it. So let me know in the comments so far, what are you getting from this? What are you getting from like how Ray Kroc just understood the idea that the McDonald's owners had, and he really wants to learn more about it. Well, let me know in the comments, because I was gonna point to the board. I can't even point to the board. This camera's so fancy. I'm trying to work with it. I'm trying to learn it. You see, one thing that stops a lot of people is that they don't understand the idea that they have. You see, it's so difficult for one to understand that you have many ideas. I read this article, or I was in class one time, and they mentioned that us human beings have over 60,000 thoughts per day. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how is that possible? You have 60,000 thoughts per day? How is that impossible? Like, how is that possible? And so when I start to really understand, like, an idea is something that goes into your mind. It's something that you think about. It's something that you can see. And it's only you that can see it. The problem is you're the only one that can see it. And so as I'm watching the movie with Ray Kroc, not only am I watching the movie, I'm watching how he's moving. When he start working with the McDonald brothers, and he starts saying like, hey, I want to partner with you all. I want to work with you all because you have something special. Your idea is special, and since it's special, I want to be a part of it. You see, many times in your life, you have to get a part of an idea to know that your dreams can come true as well. The reason why I say dreams, because an idea is a thought. And a thought is a dream that you have to bring to life. You see, the reason why that's so important, because if you don't bring your dream to life, if you don't bring your idea to life, you are going to be the only one that's holding it, that's seeing it, that's looking at it, because you're not bringing it to others. You see, I had to learn that I was not only making videos, I was not only making content, I was not only making podcasts, I was making a difference. And in order to make a bigger difference, I have to get into entrepreneurship. I have to learn entrepreneurship. I have to be understanding of entrepreneurship. I have to be open to learning about it every single day. You see, what happens is that we stop learning, and now the information is so overwhelming, we don't understand how to break it down. You see, when I went to this veteran entrepreneurship course, the first thing they said that you have to go talk to your customers. You have to go speak to your customers. You have to get in front of them and see what they like, see what their problem is, see what they're struggling. So I'm not a shy person. I'm not a shy individual. So I was like, okay, that seems easy. That seems easy. You have an idea, go share your idea with others. And so at the time I was going to University of South Florida. And so when I went to school, it was a whole bunch of, I wouldn't necessarily say kids, but young adults. There was adults, but young, there was like 18, 19, and 20, things of that nature. And so I walk up to him like, hey, yeah, you mind if I ask you a question right quick? They was like, yeah. I said, it's a quick survey. I'm only going to ask you 3 questions, and it's going to be simple and straight to the point. They was like, okay, no problem. I said, question number 1. I said, when was the last time you got on social media? I started laughing. Like 60 seconds ago before you walked up, I said, good, good, good. When you got on, next question, when you got on social media, was it entertaining or was it just something you was looking for? They said it was only for entertainment. Like, I got on social media to be entertained. I said, okay, cool, cool. I understand. I appreciate you for sharing it. Last question, last question. How do you use social media for yourself? I don't know if the second and third question was the same or was the same in a different way, but I wanted to know, like, how are you using it for yourself rather than just entertainment? And majority of them proceeds to say for entertainment. So I'm like, okay. Is social media the problem? Is social media the idea? And what I start to really understand is that when they said you have to get in front of your customers, that means you have to get in front of your customers so you can learn what the problem is. You can learn the language, you can learn what they're struggling with. So I'm like, huh? You have to do all that when you want to get into entrepreneurship? That is crazy. And so now I'm getting in front of people and I'm asking questions. And so we go back to the class. The following week, we have the next class, our next class. I go in there and I ask. I was like, okay, so I asked these questions, but I don't think I got the response I was looking for. Like, how do you get the response that you're looking for to know that if your idea is a good idea rather than a bad one? He said you have to change the question that you ask. He said, what did you ask? I said, well, the first question was, when was the last time you used social media? He started laughing. He was like, okay, that was a good question, good icebreaker. He said, what's the following question? I said, when you got on social media, what did you use it for? He said, okay. And he proceeds to explain to me. He said, if you're looking for a specific answer, the way you ask a question matters because it's going to determine the type of response that you receive. So if you're looking to identify this idea is good, you need to speak the language of the problem. What is the problem that you're trying to solve? Like, what are you looking for when you ask this question? And at the time, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking for. Y'all just said, ask the question. I went to go ask and talk to people. And now you're asking me what's the problem is? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't understand you were supposed to look for the problem. I thought just because you have an idea, the ideal is enough. And I was fooled. Because just because you have an idea doesn't mean anything if you don't act upon it. And so he proceeds to say, okay, that question wasn't necessarily good. It was an okay question, but it didn't give you what you was looking for. Next time you go out, next time you go speak to strangers, ask this question. When you get on social media, what is the main thing that you're looking for that will help you? And I wrote it down. I'm like, this is good. I'm like, okay. So the following day I go and I ask, I said, when you get on social media, what is the thing that you are looking for as you are scrolling? And that proceeds to say things that will make me laugh, things that will be entertaining, things that will be enjoyable. I'm like, okay, so what does that look like? And they start describing the type of videos. And it clicked. I said, oh, the idea was for me to put myself out there to know what the customer is thinking or feeling or trying to understand. When I was putting myself out there, it was like, oh, you have more learning to do. Because if you don't communicate to the customer, you're going to lose his customer because you don't understand their language. You don't speak their language. So I was like, oh, got it. So entrepreneurship is so overwhelming because first you have to break down your steps. First you have to identify who your customer is. The only way to recognize who your customer is to go out and go find your customer. Entrepreneurship is a thing that will force you to be uncomfortable. Entrepreneurship is a thing that will force you to do it afraid. Entrepreneurship will force you to do it when you don't have all the answers that you're looking for. You see, I've recognized that I didn't have all the answers, but I had the will to put myself out there. I had the motivation to get myself out there to start learning, to start developing, to start improving. You see, I can only improve when I have something to work on. I can only develop when I'm willing to work on myself. Let me know in the comments so far if you're getting value from this, and and what is your biggest takeaway. I'm about to point to the board, can't even point to the board. What is your biggest takeaway so far on why entrepreneurship? I'm gonna read the comments right quick, and then I'm gonna come right back. You see, in the movie, in the movie, what was it called, Ray Kroc, McDonald's. It has the McDonald's logo. He was persistent, and to be persistent means you have to be consistent. Like, you have to always show up. You have to show up when nobody wants you there. You have to show up when times are tough. You have to show up when times are good. You have to show up no matter what. And so Ray Kroc in the movie, on the McDonald's movie, he constantly kept showing up. Like, he kept showing up and being present, because him being present started to make a name for himself. You see, when you have an idea, you have to talk about your idea. You have to speak about your idea. You have to share your idea, because in order for you to know if this is a good idea, you have to be willing to go speak to other people. You have to be willing to talk to others, because your ideal is just in your mind. It seems like a good idea until you recognize that it's an okay idea, because you can't speak the language. You can't speak the language because the language is so far away from you, because the gap, you don't understand it. You don't understand. And so it taught me that in order for you to really understand entrepreneurship, you have to do it afraid. I've been doing entrepreneurship afraid for so long, for the last half a decade, because I'm learning what goes into this. What's the goal behind it? Why is it important? And what can come from this? I don't know what can come from it, but I know every single day I'm going to get up and do the work. I'm going to get up and learn something new. I'm going to get up and find the answers that will not only help me, but it will put me in a better position. You see, the reason why that's so important is because you have a chance to learn about entrepreneurship. You have a chance to learn about your customer. You have a chance to learn about your idea. You have a chance just to learn overall. How do you learn if you're not communicating with your customers? How do you learn if you don't know the problem that your customers are dealing with? How do you know that your idea will be worth pursuing? You see, there's another movie called The Pursuit of Happiness. And in this movie, Will Smith played it, but the character name was named Chris. Chris. I can't remember his last name. I don't think I even said that his last name. And so in The Pursuit of Happiness, in the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, not only was it the pursuit of happiness, it was the pursuit of him finding himself. So in the beginning of it, his wife and his son was doing good, like they was doing great. And so when they was growing up and going throughout the movie, he's doing good. He has the machines that he want to sell, and then all of a sudden they hit on hard times. The machines that he bought to get into the house, he still had the machines, and nothing was selling. Nothing was evolving. Nothing. He wasn't able to make money. So times got hard. And since times got hard, he was trying to figure it out. He was trying to learn. He was trying to discover things that he wasn't aware of. In one scene, somebody owed him $10. I believe it was $15. His buddy, who he helped move, owed him $15. Times was tough. Times were challenging, and he needed that $15. And when he started to ask about the $15, he couldn't get the $15. You see, as an entrepreneur, when you get an entrepreneurship, many times in life, when you're looking for something, you will never get it. You're going to run into so many different no's before you get to the yes. And when you finally get to the yes, you're going to be like, Jesus Christ, it took so long. But it took so long because you had to keep sharing your idea. Why entrepreneurship? Because you have to learn how to keep sharing your idea. And so in the movie of The Pursuit of Happiness, not only was he finding his happiness, he was discovering himself. And so he's learning how to be and want for more. Because I remember one scene, the following scene, he goes to walk on the sidewalk. And as he's walking on the sidewalk, he ended up seeing, I believe it was a Ferrari. It was a red Ferrari. And he said, man, what do I have to do to get that car? Excuse me. And the gentleman that was standing in front of the car, he said, you have to be good with numbers. You have to be good with people. And you have to show up. And so he was like, that's it? That's all I have to do? In his mind, he has an idea that he can have this. But are you willing to become the person that can have this? See, entrepreneurship is a different breed. It's a different challenge you have to go through, because you have to understand that as you are putting yourself there, you are recognizing that you are discovering yourself. You're discovering yourself because this idea only starts with your mind. And since it's in your mind, not only would you have to understand why it's there, you would have to recognize the importance behind it. Entrepreneurship starts with the idea. And in order for the idea to grow, it has to be worked on every single day. See, entrepreneurship has to be worked on every single day because it's something that you have to learn for yourself. You see, that's so important because many times in life we don't learn the lesson that we need to in order for us to get to the next phase. In order for us to get to the next step. It's the next step that counts. It's the next movement that matters. It's the next action that you take that makes a difference. Because in order to make a difference, you have to be willing to share your idea and understand that your idea can grow from a thought to a mind. A thought to impact. One day, I want to impact a billion people's lives by helping them launch their podcast. And notice I just said I can't make that type of impact by myself. And so we want to help a billion people launch their podcast and share their message with the world. The reason why this is so important is because if we're able to help a billion people, that means that we have a proven model that works. We have a proven way of doing things. And as we develop the way of doing things, not only are we improving over time, but this goal that I have, the goal that we have, is something bigger than me. It's something bigger than us. An idea grows through others. When I got this fancy camera, I'm still trying to work, I'm still trying to learn it. I didn't know what I was doing. And so I called my buddy who's good with cameras, and he know it like the back of his hand. So I asked him, I said, man, how do I fix this setting? Because I don't know what I'm doing. It ain't working for me, so how do you fix it? And so he got to talking. He was like, yeah, man, cameras, he got the name and everything. I said, yeah, bro, I don't know what you talking about because I have no idea what you just said. I was honest with him. And when I asked him for help, it no longer was about me. It was about us. What do you need help with? Like, if you're good at cameras, I'm not that good at cameras. And he started to help me. I had to learn that if I wanted to get to the next level, I couldn't get to the next level by myself. You see, I learned while being in entrepreneurship is that it takes time to learn something that you're not fully aware of. And the reason why that's so important is because you can't be aware of it. You just have to start. I'm going to read the comments right quick, then I'm going to come right back. Let me know. Leave a comment below. Comment below what your thoughts are about entrepreneurship and the goal behind it. And make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. You see, when I started a half a decade ago, I started because I had an idea. I wanted to go and impact the world and help others become the best version of themselves. And what I didn't recognize was that I had to become the best version of myself first before I help others become the best version of themselves. You see, the reason why that's so important because idea has to come from someone. And when you have an idea is just like a seed. When you plant this seed can grow. When you establish this seed in a healthy ground, this ground can produce this seed. I saw a video with a guy named Martin Golden, and I'm watching this video, and he proceeds to say that a seed grows both inward and upward. Inward and downward. It's the downward that people don't see. It's the foundation that people don't see. It's the strength that people don't see. They see what's coming out the ground. They see the trees. They see the leaves. They see the dirt coming out. Not the dirt, but the vegetables that can potentially be grown there. They see what come out the ground rather than what's in the ground. Which means they see outside of themselves before they see inside, so they can understand that their idea has to start with them. Starting being in entrepreneurship, I had to learn that there's a goal behind everything. There's a purpose behind everything. You just have to be the one to identify what goal and purpose and reasoning you're looking for. Because if you don't have the idea, the mission will be wasted. When I was in the Marine Corps, they all used to always say that the mission is the focus. We're going to accomplish this mission no matter what. Until you have a mission, until you have a purpose, until you have a goal, the idea just stays in your head. Why entrepreneurship? Because it gives you a chance to get it out of your head. You see, it's so important to understand that you're okay, you're on the right path. It's just recognizing that what you are learning, what you are doing, is a form of entrepreneurship. And it's a form of entrepreneurship because it matters. There's a CEO of Netflix, and I was watching his interview that he was having with someone. And he got to explaining that majority of his ideas he got told no to. He got told no to. Excuse me. He had a business partner, and that was like, yeah. So we gonna do different things, different business structures. Like, even though we gonna do different business structures, his partner was like, yeah, bro, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. He said because it don't make sense. It's just an idea. Like, your idea don't make sense. And so he was like, okay. So every day he drove with him to work, and he started to think and open his mind just a little bit. His mind started wandering, and the ideas that he was having came from the thoughts that he was producing throughout the day. Remember, we have over 60,000 thoughts per day. And many of them we barely even remember. Because it shows that entrepreneurship takes a lot to learn. Entrepreneurship takes a lot for you to develop. Entrepreneurship is a skill that has to be learned because it has to be studied. It has to be studied. I mean, when I first started making money on the side, that's what I was doing when I was in the Marine Corps. I was making money on the side. I started to wash cars. And during that time, the business cars that I had, the name of it was the journey of a car wash. Because a car goes from clean to dirty, dirty to clean, and that's a journey itself. And so when I called it that, I'm like, man, this is a really good name. This is a really good idea. And I got the business card created. I put my name on there, I put my number on there. I'm like, hey, if you need a car wash, I'm your guy. Give me a call because I'm your guy. And when I didn't recognize that there was a form of entrepreneurship. It was an idea that I acted on. And since I acted on it, I was willing to learn more about it. And what I recognized during that time is that you don't have all the answers to everything, because entrepreneurship is a lot to learn. But you don't have to learn everything all at once. You can learn it over time. You can learn it the more you show up. You can learn it the more you grow within yourself. Because in order to grow within yourself, you have to have an idea. And this idea is going to show you that if it's a good idea, people will say yes. If it's a bad idea, people will say no. And so when I had the idea, I got my business cards. I went to Walmart. I got the bucket. I got the scrubs. I got the water hose. I got the soap. I got the tire, the rim cleaner. And I'm like, hold on. I got the car freshener, car air freshener, or something like that. I got that. I was like, now I'm ready. So then, before I use the equipment, I have to pass out the cards. So I start passing out the cards. I start walking around where we were staying in my unit or my barracks, and I start saying like, "Hey, I wash cars. If you need your car washed, come to me. If you need your car washed, you ain't even gotta drive it. Just come over here and park it, and I'll wash it." I said, "You ain't even gotta wash it. Just give me the keys, and I will wash your car." And I start getting people to say, "Yeah, you can wash my car. How much you gonna charge?" I say, "Charge." I'm like, $30. That was like, "That's it?" Yeah, sure. They said, "Okay, cool. You can wash my car for $30." And so I had my first payment. Somebody paid me $30 to wash their car. And when they paid me $30 to wash their car, it took me 2.5 hours to even wash one car. And so the next person come, I'm like, "Yeah, man, I wash cars. Like, if you need your car washed, I'm your guy. Here, take my car, give me a call. Here, take my car, give me a call." People start calling. But it wasn't a lie. I probably washed 7 different cars. But I had an idea. And once I had the idea, I put the idea out to others to see if it's something that's a good idea. And say, "Yeah, because I don't want to wash my car." And I'm like, "I'm the man. Here, take my card." Because the name of this business is The Journey of a Car Wash. I'm going to read the comments right quick. Let me know in the comments right. Your biggest takeaway so far. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like. Let me go ahead and read the comments right quick. Joshua says, "So far, I've learned that entrepreneurship is about making connections because we all have different areas of expertise. Communicating and connecting with different people is key to growing your brand." And Joshua hit it on the nail. Because you have a certain skill that you have to develop. You have a certain way of doing things. When I got this new camera, I was stressed out because I didn't know what to do with it. Now my old camera, the first camera that I ever bought was I think it was a Sony AV1, and that quality on there was horrible. It was horrible, but I got it. And then the next camera that I got was the EOS M50. And so I had to learn the EOS M50. And as I'm learning it, I'm like, okay, it seemed pretty basic. It seemed pretty simple to use. I turn it on and I clip the lens on, and I hear it snapped on. I turn it on, look at it. It has you can look at yourself while you're recording. That's about all I know about cameras. You turn it on, you plug it in, and you press record. My buddy that I called yesterday about the camera, this new camera that I had, I said, "Yeah, man, like I'm having this problem," and it was the most simplest problem that I ever had before, but it was so difficult for me because I didn't really understand it. I couldn't focus the camera, the camera wouldn't focus. It was blurry. And so I'm trying to look on YouTube and see how to fix it. I'm like, how do you fix this? I'm getting frustrated. Like, the other one, the EOS M50 wasn't that bad. It was simple. Like, it didn't take all that. And so I called him. I said, "Yeah, man, like I'm having this problem because it's blurry and I don't know how to fix it." I said, "Bro, can you help me?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna look at the aperture, the shutter, the lens." I'm like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" He said, "Yeah, you got a good lens." He said, "Your lens can't zoom in, but your lens is good." I'm like, "What? What does that even mean?" What does that even mean? How you know the lens good? And how you know I can't zoom in? How do you know this about the camera? And he was like, yeah, man, let me just look it up real quick just so I can have an idea. And so he pulled it up on Google and he said, what's the name of it again? I said, it's an FX30. He said, okay, no problem. He said, yeah, you got a good camera. I said, okay. I'm like, what make it good? He said, because your lens good and your camera is good quality. I said, okay, okay. But I don't know what that means. To Joshua's point is that we have different expertise. And yesterday, that's when I fully understood that we do have expertise because it's a skill that we only focus on. I wasn't necessarily focused on the camera. Like, I get in front of it, press record or press start. That's it. That's all I know. Now, as far as like adjusting the settings, adjusting what's in the camera, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't even pretend like I do know because I don't know how to fix it. And so what my expertise is podcasting, is speaking, is communicating, is leadership, is understanding that I have a way with words. I'm just not technical. I'm just not technical. You see, you have to know yourself to know that when you are getting in entrepreneurship, you have to keep learning yourself because you want to keep evolving. I did a call yesterday. I used this example. This example was good, so I'm going to use it today. And the example that I used, it was called the Law of the Lid. Law of the Lid. And it was by John Maxwell of 21 Irrefutable Laws. In the first chapter, in the first what is it called? First chapter, he explains the pursuit of happiness. I'm sorry, not the pursuit of happiness. He explained the law of the lid, and he say to the capacity one is able to grow. This where the lid will stay until one develop himself or herself, and one keep evolving over time. They're gonna stay limited because their learning capacity is low. He say in order for you to increase the law of the lid or to improve the law of the lid is that you have to work on yourself first. You have to have an idea. When you have this idea, you have to be willing to work on this idea. You have to be willing to develop as a person, as a leader, as an entrepreneur, because you have to recognize it's something that you have to develop into rather than starting an idea. You have to learn more about it, and as you're learning more about it, you're recognizing why you need to really learn it, because it matters to the point where you understand your strengths, you understand your weaknesses, because in order to get past the law of the lid, your lid has to be raised. So as you are raising it, you're not being limited. So you have to really work on yourself, because the more you grow this lid, the more you establish an idea, it has to be worked on every single day, unless you have limiting beliefs, unless you think you're not good enough, unless you're not doing the work. You see, the law of the lid is something that stops a lot of people from growing, because it's themselves. The person that's in the mirror that's stopping their growth. It's the person in the mirror that's not growing with time. They're just not evolving with time. They're letting the outside world stop them from developing because their capacity has reached. I'm going to read the comments right quick, then I'm going to come right back to it. The movie you mentioned, The Pursuit of Happiness, was a perfect example of entrepreneurship and the struggle of starting from the bottom. Man, Joshua said that. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it, because as a new entrepreneur or a person with an idea, you're not going to know what you're doing. You're not going to know and understand what you're doing. In The Pursuit of Happiness, he didn't understand what he needed to do. It was one scene when he came into the building with like a mustard shirt and like a regular coat with blue jeans on. The night before his interview, he got arrested. The day before he had to be somewhere, his plans was canceled because he had to go to jail. You see, that was only canceled for the moment because he didn't think he was going to make it. When they released him from jail, in the movie A Pursuit of Happiness, when they released him from jail, he took off. You see, when you have an idea, you have to take off. You see, when you take off, you're not only taking off for yourself, you're running into this idea. And when he made it into the building, he had on a white mustard shirt with a black jacket and blue jeans. And the people that was in the interview room had on suits. And so he proceeded to sit down. He said, "I'm sorry I'm late. I had a long night." And they say, "Chris, no problem. Thank you for being here. And we want to tell you something, Chris. We want to tell you something. We want to say that you have the position to study and to try to become a stockbroker. You have an opportunity, son." And in this interview, he understood that he had an opportunity because he had an idea. You see, the struggle is real. And just because they gave him an opportunity, he still had to work. When he got his foot in the door, when they said, "Congratulations, you had the opportunity. You've been selected to join the program." And when you're selected to join the program, not only are you selected to join the program, this is where the real work begins. Because if you think that was challenging, you just get prepared to what's coming to you. And so now he's struggling even more because he has to really push himself. You see, when you have an idea in entrepreneurship, you have to push yourself. Because if you're not pushing yourself, your idea is going to stay in your mind. When he got the opportunity, it was an obstacle after it was a challenge after challenge after challenge that kept arising. That kept coming up, that he kept having to face. But he kept fighting through. He kept finding a way. He kept pushing through. You see, when you push through, your idea is going to show you why you're pushing through. See, in the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, he was figuring out himself, and then when he had an opportunity, he still had to figure out himself. You see, when you have an idea, you still have to figure out yourself, because your idea is a gateway to entrepreneurship. Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Is it an idea that people will like? You see, when in the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, the character Chris, it was one time he came out the building like the day was ended, and his boss was like, "Chris, do you have $5 so I can catch this taxi and go downtown?" He said, "I'll give it back." And so he pulled out his wallet. He looked, he said, "I might not have $5. He's saying in his head, he's saying in his facial expression, like, I don't know if I can give this $5 away. I don't know if I can give the little money that I have away. I don't know if I can do that." He said, the boss said, "All I need is $5, Chris." And so the boss walks up and just grabs the $5 and say, "I'm going to pay you back," because the boss had to be somewhere. And so when he left, he was like, that was I only had so little. I only had so little. In entrepreneurs, and when you pursue entrepreneurship, you're going to have so little until your idea grows into something. I only had so little. And so he proceeds to go get his son, and now they're sleeping in the bathroom. And then when they sleep in the bathroom, he has to pretend like the ground has lava on it, so his son can be okay, so his son won't be scared. And so he was like, "Okay, this is a time machine. We're going to press this time machine together, but you got to keep your eyes closed, son." You see, when you have an idea, you have to keep your eyes closed so you can eventually see what you are creating. And when they press the button and say, "Okay, we're going to press it on 3, they count to 3, they press the button. When they pressed the button, it was lava. But it was imaginary lava because he didn't want to tell his son, we're going to have to sleep in the bathroom tonight." He made his idea into a game. He told his son, "We got to get somewhere safe." Your idea has to be safe with you before it comes to life. You see, when it's safe with you, now you're constantly thinking about it. He says, son, let's go in the bathroom real quick because this imaginary lava might burn us. And so they get in the bathroom, they lock the door, put knockers on the ground, they sleeping in the bathroom. You see, just because you have an idea doesn't mean it's going to come to reality. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Doesn't mean you're not going to face no challenges. You see, in the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, he was pursuing his happiness because he had an idea. You see, when he not only was a single father, not only was he struggling, but he was trying to make a way. In the movie of The Pursuit of Happiness, you have to make a way for your idea to come to life. You see, the reason why that's so important, because entrepreneurship is going to be challenging. There's going to be days when you don't feel good. There's going to be days when you're trying to figure everything out, and as you're trying to figure everything out, nothing is making sense. When you're trying to discover everything, you discover everything, but nothing ain't working. When you're trying to make everything work and everything ain't working like you want it to work, now you get frustrated. You see, if it was all shining in glory, if it was all good and great, if it was all amazing, with prizes, everybody would be an entrepreneur. But since it's challenging and you have to face different obstacles, many people just throw in the towel. Many people say this idea ain't worth pursuing because I want to keep my happiness within myself. Many times in life is when you step outside of yourself to know that when you have an idea, you have to ask yourself, are you willing to work towards this every single day? You see, in the beginning of entrepreneurship, not only is it challenging, it's going to push you to help you discover if this is the path for you. And once you recognize if this is the path, just know it's going to be hard. Just know it's kind of like running down a hill. Running down a hill is easy. But then when you turn around and go back up the hill, even though the hill is steep, the hill is long. When you go down, when you go up the hill, you got some challenges because your legs might get tired. Your quads might get to burning. You might be exhausted. But with every idea, you have to face a challenge. With every idea, you have to overcome a challenge. Because if you don't, how do you pursue your happiness? I'm going to take a second to read the comments right quick. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. You leave in the comments below your biggest takeaway so far on how and why entrepreneurship is a good idea rather than a bad idea. I'm about to read the comments right quick. The movie you mentioned was perfect example. Serenity say, I just discovered you. I appreciate it. Joshua say 100 and then exclamation mark. You see, entrepreneurship, hold on. Entrepreneurship feels good with the idea. The idea is something that says, hey, I have a thought, I have a way of doing things. I have a feeling. That's what it is. You have a feeling that you want to be great. You have a feeling that you want to be different. But are you ready to face the challenge? Mike Tyson said that many times people want to do something. Wait, what did he say? People want to be great until they get hit. And then when you get hit, that's when you want to be like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if this is for me. You see, an idea that you have is for you. You just have to bring it to life. I remember this one time when I was doing the journey of the car wash. I was washing cars. And as I was washing cars, I remember my dream car that I was washing was a Chrysler 300. That joker was clean. That mug was playing. I think it was like a 2018, 2019. It was new. Because in my mind, like a Chrysler 300 is kind of like what is it called? A Rolls Royce or something like that. But I don't know what a Rolls Royce look like. A Chrysler 300, back where I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, that's a good car. It ain't too fancy, ain't too flashy. It's a good car. So I had the opportunity to clean my dream car. And when I had the opportunity to clean my dream car, I'm like, I have a chance to see what it feels like. And so I do the normal routine. I spray the car down. I'm washing the rims. I'm cleaning the outside, and it's looking okay. Then I move into the inside, and I start wiping everything down. I spray some cleaning spray on my tire, wipe everything down. One day I pictured myself driving this car because the car was nice. And so as I'm cleaning my future dream car, I'm cleaning this car like it's mine. And then one day as I'm cleaning the car like it's mine, I got too comfortable and I messed the screen up just a little bit. You see, when I messed the screen up, I didn't know that you weren't supposed to put any other chemical rather than Windex on the window. So you're not supposed to, if it's not Windex, you're not supposed to put it on the window. I was the one that put not Windex, but something else on the window. And so it left like streak marks or something like that. And so I'm like, maybe it'd go away. I tried to like wipe it, but I kept doing the same thing that got it there the first time. I kept spraying stuff. So I said, maybe I wasn't supposed to do that. And so I said, yeah, okay, forget the screen. So I get to cleaning everything else. I get the vacuuming, I get to wiping everything down, spray the air freshener. Like, yeah, this car, it's like you just got it off the lot, minus the screen. And so when the owner got there and he looked at the car, he said, yeah, man, it's good. I don't think he looked at that screen. I don't think he looked at that screen at all. But he was like, yeah, man, it's good, man. I appreciate it. He gave me $50 when I was charging for $30. He gave me $50. It was the scent that made him, you know what I mean? I put some air freshener in that joint. And so when I sprayed the car, he got in, he said, yeah, I like this. This smells clean. It smells clean. It looks clean. And so he drives off. To this day, I never know. I haven't discovered if he saw the streak marks on the screen. Like, obviously you have to look at the screen, but it was like the idea that I had to wash a car. Not only was I washing my dream car, I was washing a car that I saw myself in the future with. Now I don't really have a dream car anymore. And when he didn't say nothing. What it made me think was that I delivered a good service. I delivered a good service. Even minus the screen. It smelled good. It looked clean. It was clean on the outside, clean on the inside. What did it say? Clean on the outside, clean in the inside. Ice cream paint job. Yeah. And so when he got in the car and I recognized, if I just provide good service, if I just have an idea and do it good, like I don't have to be the best at it, I just have to do good at it. Eventually, my idea will grow into something I'm not expecting. Will establish more than I could ever think. Because I provided a good idea. I acted on the good idea. And over time, this good idea grew into something more. Unfortunately, I'm not washing cars anymore because I learned that there was a very tiring process because I was doing everything by myself. Nonetheless, entrepreneurship is something that will teach you lessons that you don't even expect to learn. Like, you don't see the importance behind it unless you do it. And when you do it, you have to really understand that you're doing it for a particular reason, right? And so it helped me. It helped me understand that the idea that I have is very important. Because if I want to continue to be in entrepreneurship, first I have to do it good. Whatever I do, now I'm helping entrepreneurs launch their podcast. Whatever I do, I have to be good at it. It doesn't matter what I do, I just have to be good at it. Because if I'm not good at it, I'm wasting my time. Next point is that your idea will have struggle behind it. When you are accomplishing your goals and you're accomplishing this idea is going to push you. And it's going to push you because it's something that you don't know. And when it pushes you because you don't know what you are doing, keep getting pushed because eventually you will be able to push back like a friction. Like you getting pushed back this way. Nah. This time you're pushing back because you know what you are doing. And the last point is that when you are pursuing your happiness, Your idea of entrepreneurship comes from you solving a problem. Why entrepreneurship? Because you want something more for yourself. I wanted something more for myself, and I didn't know what the more was, so I just started doing things. Until you start doing things and recognize that the things you're doing is putting you on the right path, it will be challenging for you to keep going because you don't know what you are doing. And not knowing what you are doing is absolutely okay. Just have an idea, act on the idea, get feedback. If it's good, keep doing it. If it's bad, keep doing it until you find something else to do it. Until you find something else to replace it. Because this will help you understand that you are on the right path. Before I am, go ahead and read the comments. Joshua say, clean on the outside, clean on the inside, clean on the outside. Ice cream, paint job. Yes, sir. You know that song. So I appreciate y'all for joining in. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave your biggest takeaway in the comments on why entrepreneurship. If I made it make sense, if I made it more understanding, leave in the comments on how this video has helped you. And before you leave, make sure you click the following video so you can learn more about yourself and develop within your journey. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Hello. Wait, my bad. That was the exit, but I just saw a question. My bad. What's some tips you can give me for just sitting? Hold on. I just read that all wrong. Josh was saying, what's some tips you could give me for just sitting? God, dog, why is I have to read that? Hold on. I'm going to read it again. What's some tips you can give me for someone just starting out to become an entrepreneur? I'm tired of working a 9 to 5. Joshua, good question, man. You have to try to go do something. Like, yes, I understand you are tired of working a 9 to 5, but you have to figure out what you would like to do to replace that 9 to 5. Like, have you tried to do anything else? Have you tried to do something new? Have you had an idea and acted on the idea? That's so important. What he say? I know you about to get up out of here, so it can wait. Yeah, I can answer it now if you're still on. I'm answering it now. I'm gonna read the question again, so that way, what's some tips you can give me for just getting out to become an entrepreneur? I'm tired of working a 9 to 5. To answer your question, you have to figure out, just have an idea, and then just start acting on that idea. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to read all the different books. No, you need to try to start doing things. Like, bro, I started washing cars. I started, what else? Started in real estate. I started cold calling. I started door knocking. I started trying different things. And you have to just try different things. I understand if you are tired of the 9 to 5, but don't leave your 9 to 5 without having an established plan. So you just have to start doing things. You can go around the yard. You can go to the store, get a lawnmower, use your 9 to 5, get a lawnmower, go cut grass. Or you can go around, go collect, go clean some houses. Not just, go clean some apartments or whatever the case is. Trash collect. I remember when I was in Little Rock, Arkansas, I tried to go cut yards, but I wasn't good at it. But you have to give yourself permission to try. Go try something new. Go try something different. Go try something that you're not familiar with. Because you have to learn that you can learn more than you can expect. So that's my piece of advice. Go try something new. Go try something. Go try and experience something, because you have to experience things to know the path that you would like to be on. It's going to take time. So if you have a lot of ideas, pick one, choose it, and then act on it. And then it'll help you understand. Just try to do things. So hopefully I answered your question. If not, shoot me a DM, then I'll answer it further. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. And then I'll see y'all next time.